For Info Live TV, I'm Adam Ross in Jerusalem on Wednesday. Earlier on this morning, Israeli tanks rolled into the Gaza Strip for the first time since the disengagement over almost a year ago. Joining us on the line now is former Foreign Minister Sylvan Shalom. Good morning, Sylvan.
Good morning.
Mr. Shalom, tell us, how far can Israel go now in stamping out terror in the Gaza Strip without becoming isolated in the international community?
I would like you to know that before we implemented the disengagement plan, before our withdrawal, I was the foreign minister, deputy prime minister then, and I was visiting all the capitals around the world, and I came with a message from Prime Minister Sharon that said very clear that after the withdrawal from Gaza, if they will launch one rocket toward Israel, our reaction will be a very strong and very serious one. Unfortunately, a short time after we left Gaza, they started to launch rockets. It was very small numbers, but recently, of course, they are doing it on a daily basis. And more than that, the last operation that took place on Sunday, while they killed the 2 Israeli soldiers and they kidnapped another one, it shows us that the Palestinian Authority is not trying to do anything to stop it. More than that, it might be that they are very much involved and they are encouraging it. So we should stop it. We should bring back the security to the people of the southern part of our country, in Sderot and the Negev. And I don't think there is any other country around the world that would stand the idea that your country would suffer from so many rockets that were fired by your enemies.
Now, Sylvan, is Israel doing enough? You mentioned Amir Peretz and Ehud Olmert, 2 men with very little military experience between them. What do you have to say about the way that these 2 men, the government, has been fighting terrorism so far?
I think it took them too long to realize that they should take an action or to do something in order to stop those terrorists. Since the wrong decision that was taken by Prime Minister Olmert to enable the Hamas to participate in the election and by that to take the lead, it was totally against what Sharon have decided to do, and I've said it very clear to Prime Minister Olmert when I was Foreign Minister then, that we shouldn't do it. But since then, when the Hamas came to power, there is no one to talk with. And more than that, they never condemned any kind of attack against Israel. It's part of their policy. It took them very long time until they realized that something should be done. So finally, they took the decision after this Israeli soldier was kidnapped and 2 others were killed.
Right, now, you were obviously the former foreign minister, and as you said, you travelled much of the Arab world as well. Now, as you know, Khaled Mashal seems to be pulling the strings of the extremist elements within Hamas at the moment. Now, shouldn't the attacks by the IDF be now directed at Syria?
First of all, I don't accept the way that they are trying to picture the Hamas or to distinguish between Khaled Mashal and Ismail Haniyeh, that is the Prime Minister, or Mahmoud Azhar, that is the Foreign Minister. Right now, of course, Khaled Mashal is behind this kind of attack, but I don't want to join those who are trying to distinguish between him and the others that lives here in Gaza. So, of course, Khaled Mashal is fully behind it. Damascus still gives shelter to all the terrorist organizations. Their headquarters and as well as their training camps are still open there.
If you were foreign minister now, right? If you were foreign minister now, would you be sending messages or even sending planes over Damascus now? What would you be doing?
I think that what needs to be done now is to first to talk to all the foreign leaders and to explain them what is behind this operation that started to take place this morning, and to remind them what we have said to them before the withdrawal, that if they will continue to launch rockets toward Israel, we will try to put an end. So we would like to justify, of course, what we are doing there in Gaza. That's first. Second, I would like to talk to them about the necessity to release the kidnapped soldier, and of course they can do it maybe much better than we can, because we don't have any kind of contact with those extremists. What needs to be done now is to push Damascus to deport, to expel Khaled Mashal and all the other terrorist organizations out of Damascus, and not to give them the shelter that they are giving them so long time.
Okay, now just one final question for you, Sylvan. Kidnappings, Qassam rockets, it's a frightening time for Israel. Are we now at war?
I believe that we are not moving toward the war because we were trying for a very long time to make any move toward better understanding with the Palestinians. We believe that in January 2005, when Abu Mazen was elected, that we are coming to a new time, to a different era, and we thought that we might have a glimmer of hope then. Unfortunately, Abu Mazen is still hesitating.
Sylvan Shalom, the former Foreign Minister of Israel and number 2 in the Likud Party, thank you very much for joining us here on Info Live TV.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.